Hi guys, welcome back. I have created a small project related to FIMM integrations, and this is GRIR clearing process. So this is one of the real business scenario you may consider, and this includes partial goods receipt, price difference, and vendor payment. This one is going to help you for your preparation if you are preparing for consulting job, as well as if user point of view and you are preparing for P2P profile also. So here we are going to look into how SAP automatically posts all the FI entries when goods are received, how the GRIR account is getting posted and it is cleared at the time of invoice postings, and finally how the vendor is going to get the payment related to or through the bank accounting. Let's take a practical story. So let's say our company, Electro Components Private Limited, it's a manufacturing company and they're manufacturing electronic transistors, and they have placed purchase order from a vendor. Let's take the vendor X. From that vendor, they are going to purchase 100 kg of silicon wafers, and the price per kg is 100. So total price here, the purchase price should be 100 into 100, that is 10,000. So at the time of goods receipt means purchase order created. So as we know that purchase order is related to our internal document from the point of view. So once the goods receipt will be processed in the logistic document, which is nothing but our MIGO. So we will expect here the accounting document that inventory is going to debit and GRIR account is going to credit, or maybe you can consider this one as our clearing document, GRIR clearing document. Normally, if you are working any small applications, let's say Tally or some small application, there might be you are directly going to post the vendor invoice that your purchase account is going to debit and the vendor is going to credit. But in the real case, when you are practically once you are working in the system, you take any ERP or you take any big companies, there you will find that GRIR clearing account used, because invoice and the stock immediately or like simultaneously it will not come. So that's why once we are going to process the GR in the logistics system, automatically you will find from the finance point of view the accounting document. So I will show you this accounting document practically I will show you and we will verify all the documents. So at the time of GR, this accounting entry will be there. Then once we have the invoice, then once we will later when we are going to process the invoice or we will process the MIRO, the GRIR account which was having the credit entry, it is going to be cleared or the balance will be zero, and finally the vendor invoice will be there and vendor is going to be credit or payable is going to be credit. So this is the normal process, and here from the project point of view or as for this scenario, that although we placed here 100 kg, but the vendor ships only 60 kg, that is in the first lot, vendor is only provided or vendor only supplied 60 kg of our material, and invoice also not yet received. So in this situation, we are going to see in the system, that means we created the purchase order for 100 kg, but we received partially here the inventories. So in SAP system, we will receive the goods, but we won't have invoice. So in that case, what accounting entry will be there? Still, we need to update our inventories because there is inventory inflow is there. So inventory has to be there or it should be recorded in the system. But as it is a logistics entry, so once the logistic user is going to post the logistic processing or the GR entry, how the accounting entry will be there? Because as we have received the inventories, since the liability is not confirmed yet, means payable is not confirmed yet, so that's why something need to be entered, and that is nothing but your temporary account, which we are saying that GRIR account or popularly known as GRIR clearing entries. So this is the accounting entry will be there at the time of GR, and once we are going to have the invoice, then that time we are going to have the vendor invoice. Now, if the invoice price is different from the purchase order price, so in this example, I'm going to create purchase order with 100 kg per unit, but the transaction price or the invoice price increased. Maybe there is a hike in the price because some government norm, something happens. So that's why there is a vendor invoices price will be different and PO price will be there. So if the invoice price is different from the PO price, we will see how SAP is going to automatically post the difference entries or the price difference account is going to be updated. That also we need to see, and that should be also included in our cost calculation point of view. So finally, we are going to make the vendor payment and the entry will be vendor account is going to debit and bank account is going to credit. So let's check this one in the system practically. So let's create the purchase order. So I'm going to enter here the purchase order. Now assume that I am the logistic user and I'm going to create the purchase order. And here I have created one material master. Let me show you that too also. Material number 85, and this is our informations related to this particular material. Okay, so this is our silicon wafer which is required for our manufacturing of the transistor, and the price which is updated here, the standard price is updated as 100. So with this we are going to process the purchase order. So I will select here one supplier. Now this activity, when you will be there in the process, if you are part of P2P process, then you are going to perform this one. And if you are preparing for the consulting for testing purpose, whether you want to see whether FIMM integration is working perfectly or not, then this transaction also you need to process in your practice point of view. But it is core logistic activities. So here we will take one supplier, purchase organization, purchase group. So we are going to purchase material number 85. Quantities, as per my example, it will be 100. Okay, delivery date I am taking here today's date. Plant and storage. Okay, and the PO price I'm going to take here 100. Okay, so now let's see what is the total invoice price expected here. So as per example, it should be 10,000, whereas the invoice price will be different. Now I'm going to save this purchase order. Next, I'm going to convert that purchase order into GR. So enter the transaction code MIGO. So we are going to process the goods receipt. Movement type is 101. Perfect. Against our purchase order, select the purchase order and execute. Now here the twist. So we have processed here, or we have created the purchase order for 100 units, but actually supplier only supplied here only 60 kg. Instead of 100 kg, it's only 60 kg. So I'm going to process with 60 kg the quantity received. Logistic document is perfect and post it. Being logistic user, my job is over, or I have processed the GR. Now it is expected, as something happened in the system as a part of ERP result, you should get the accounting document or your result of FIMM integrations. So as per this example, so what the accounting document you will expect here, inventory is going to debit, GRIR account or GRIR clearing account is going to credit. Okay, and the source will be the GR document. So let me check this one. So I'm going to I'm going to check this one in the accounting report, FBL3N. I will select here today's date. In this company code, no transaction posted today. So I'm just going to select here today's date and execute. So I can see here accounting document is posted. So raw material account debit and GRIR account is credit. So this one is open item. So that means something further we are going to do here. And our inventory account is debited with 6,000. And if you'll see the source document, so definitely the source document should be our original document, or the GR document should be there. So this is our GR document. So with reference to this GR, the accounting entry posted. Now today, if we are going to prepare our balance sheet, then inventory we are going to show that 60 unit we have received here, right? That is 6,000 is the amount. If you are working on material ledger, now I want to see that inventory which we have received. So that one is received or not, or that value is there or not. Accounting point of view we have verified. Now I want to see the material ledger point of view. Although integration point of view or in current scenario point of view, this one is not important, but it is important for your cost calculation point of view. Okay, so you can see here that this month means 8th posting period, which is November, that 60 kg is received here and against that purchase order. So this data is important for your cost calculation point of view. Now I'm going to convert that purchase order into invoice. So now we are going to process the MIRO or the vendor invoice, and we are going to convert that purchase order into invoice. So here we found that our inventory has increased and a temporary liability created, that is nothing but your GRIR, because vendor is not yet credited. Suppose I want to see anything there in the against your vendor or not. So I will go to FBL 1N and here I will select today's date. Let's see if any accounting is there from the supplier point of view or not. Obviously you will not get anything here today, because invoice is not yet received or vendor is not yet credited, because we have not received the invoice yet. Before we move to the invoice and payment process, I have a quick note for those who want to learn SAP FICO and integrations or end-to-end project. So I have a complete structured program here, and this example which right now I'm also demonstrating, that is also part of that particular training. Particularly if you'll see here accounts payable, which is part of your FIMM integration. So like this, many scenarios we are going to demonstrate here, and you will get the assignment accordingly to work on those areas, and you can complete the project too. So if you are serious about your SAP career and you are already working as SAP user, you want to upgrade to SAP consulting, or you are right now working as SAP consultant but you are there in the support project and you want to understand the end-to-end process, so you may check this particular course content. So it is not only the integrations, so complete end-to-end process is there. You can go through those details so that you will get the complete idea. I will add this link in the description. You may check that too. Now let's move to the invoice receipt or MIRO step. Transaction code MIRO. Again, this particular transaction is also posted by the logistic user, and with reference to this, we are going to get the accounting document. So I'm going to convert this purchase order into invoice. And here I'm going to take the reference as my purchase order number. So we will also see the tax components related to this invoice. So let me take here the date. Okay, so logistic user who is going to process the invoice, that logistic user is just going to take the reference of purchase order, and I'm going to adapt the data. Although PO was created for 100 units, but actually we have received 60 units. So accordingly, this price is coming 6,000, but here again some changes are there. So initially I created the purchase order at a price of 100. So that time your value was updated as 10,000. After that I processed 60 units because GR was processed 60, and now invoice we are going to process with 105. As I said, the price changed here. Now what should be the next here? What should be the invoice amount here? The base amount will be 6,300, not the 6,000. So price difference also will be there, and it's a very common, like in realistic, always you will find the invoice may increase, or during invoice the price will, because all the transactions, everything demonstration point of view as I'm processing today, but in real case there will be gap will be there. So that situations there where you will find that PO price difference or invoice price will different from your PO price. So I'm going to change here the price, not 6,000, rather it will be 6,300. So this one I'm going to change as 6,300, and accordingly everything is going to be changed here. So my tax amount is also going to be changed now because I changed my base as well. So okay, so now you can see 348.08. So payable amount base plus tax. So it is 664808. Okay, and we are going to post the invoice. Okay, so the document number is posted, created, and it is blocked for payment. So we'll see, because invoice here it is not processed, it's not a release. So we will simultaneously release and we will process it. Now I can, after this payment, you will find that there should be some accounting entries with reference to this particular transactions. Let's see, and you will find the outstanding amount should be there in the supplier point of view also. Now last time when we checked, supplier was nothing was there, vendor line item was not there. Now I'm going to refresh, see the outstanding. So automatically you can see this transaction is posted. Let's see these particular transactions. First of all, we have to find out here the source document. The source document, the original document should be our MIRO document or invoice. So this is the original document. Now I want to see the accounting here. So what should be the accounting here? The accounting point of view will try to understand. So this is your accounting. So when we have processed the invoice with price difference, this is the accounting entry. The GRIR account, earlier it was credited, now it must be debited 6,000. Vendor should be credited with 6,300. In this example, I have not added the tax, but in real accounting entry, tax is there. And there is a price difference of 300 is there because the base amount is different. I mean, the processing amount is different from the PO amount. So instead of 6,000, we have credited 6,300. Let's check the same in the accounting or in the SAP system. So I will check the line items and exactly we have the same. So you can see here supplier updated with the base plus tax, it is there. Then GRIR account is debited here 6,000. Then price difference is updated here 300 and the tax component is there. And also here the document splitting is applicable. So let me go to the GL view. Right now I'm in entry view and you can see the GL view, it is updated with the profit centers. So here as a result of your perfect FIMM integrations, we manage everything. We converted our purchase order into invoice. First I processed a partial GR, then I processed the invoice with a different amount, and I can see here the payable amount is updated and the price difference is also separately recorded. For your reference, this material I have updated with the standard price. If it will be moving average, then it will be a different scenarios. Now one important area, that is how we are going to manage with the difference, that 300. Now what is this 300? 300 is nothing but your price difference. So if it is price difference, it should be adjusted against your profit, right? Because instead of 6,300 here we have recorded 6,000, and accordingly that the price we are going to include in the cost of production calculation. So this 300 should be transferred to your profitability analysis, both for FI point of view. This data is related to FI, so it will be there in the FI. Now if I will check the GL account 5004, okay, and that should be recorded with my particular amount. So 5004, right now I'm in FBL 3N and it is updated here. So this value will be transferred to your income statement. So this one current date, this 300 is there. This will be there in your income statement through trial balance. Now, internally also we need to transfer these values to internal profitability analysis, which we are saying that COPA. That value also should be available there. Okay, if you have configured the COPA, again, it is related to purely consulting, not part of P2P. So you will find that it should be also contributed to the COPA point of view. So let's check that too. COPA is nothing but your profitability analysis, micro level or internally. So let's check this document. Okay, so these are my characteristics which I have activated. If you have the COPA idea, then you can connect this one. Otherwise, you may skip this one because it is nothing related to our current scenario. But just have a look into this and the respective values are updated. So here I have configured the combined COPA. Both accounting information is there and the value is updated 300, and simultaneously the value field is also updated here. So this value, when we will prepare our income statement internally, which we are saying that profitability analysis, this value also will be included there. Back to our current example. Later vendors shift the remaining 40 kg. So I'm going to process the GR entry, or I'm going to process the MIGO entry for the remaining quantities. So I will take here goods received, same purchase order and execute. So remaining 40 kg we have received. Document OK and post. With this again, you will find that the GR entry should be there, the respective accounting entry will be there. Let's check that too. Okay, so second lot received 4,000, which is valuated with cost price because it's GR, and then accounts payable, ignore, it is related to the previous transaction, and the GRIR open balance is showing 4,000 for the second lot which we have received. Now I'm going to process the MIRO for the second lot, or that is our vendor invoice. And this one also I'm going to process with the 105 amount only. So it should be 40 unit. Okay, and 105, so 4,200, not 4,000, 4,200. Payable amount 443205 and post. Now second invoice or second payable item you will find here, that is related to our supplier. So two outstanding invoices are there and which we are going to make the payment. But here invoice, you can see both invoices for review purpose, it is there that releasing not completed. So that's why it is blocked for payment. So that's why until unless it is not released, we will not able to proceed for the payment. Now we have two open invoices are there which we are going to make the we are going to proceed with the payment. But here problem is that you can see in both it is updated as R. That means your payment block option is R, or it is not yet released. So until unless it is not released, R, that is invoice verification not completed. So as it is not released, the AP team should not proceed with the payment. So it should be released first from the logistic team, then only AP team is going to make the payment. Now let's say I am the manager and I am going to approve this particular two supply invoice, everything is fine. So that AP team is going to make the payment. So I will go to the logistic, particularly it is related to invoice verification, material management, logistic invoice verification, then go to further processing, and here multiple options are there. You can verify the particular invoice and all, but I am going to release the block invoices. So go for this one, release block invoices, and for this company code, let's see how many invoices are blocked. So two invoices are blocked, which I processed today, and I am going to release it. Select release. Okay, so both are okay and done. Refresh. Now AP can proceed with the payment. So you can see R removed here. Okay, so now last step, I'm going to make the payment, or I'm going to proceed the payment. F-53, if you want, you can also run through the F110. This one is part of accounts payable, this particular step. But when you will prepare for your project end to end, you have to configure, and you are preparing for P2P job, then complete process you should be aware. So vendor payment, select your house bank, your sub account related to bank, okay, and amount. Let's see the outstanding amount. I just enter here 1, value date, today's date, and your supplier number 10010. Just ignore the other transactions. I will only take today's transactions. So these last two transactions are today's transactions, which I am going to make the payment. So what is the payable amount? 11,08013. 11,08013. Okay, so this is your vendor is debit and bank. Done. This here also document splitting applicable, because two different your profit center is there. One is related to bank F03 and another one is F001. So that is why to adjust this one, two more line entries added. It is related to our document splitting. Now let's see the supplier liability. Do we have any open items? So I'm going to refresh this page. No, everything convert into cleared items. Now let's summarize what we learned today. So first we have processed one goods receipt, that is nothing but your MIGO. So where increase in the inventory and temporary we have used the GRIR account. Then after that we have processed the MIRO or invoice. Both the transaction was posted through the logistics system and GRIR clear and vendor credited. Then as there is a difference in your purchase order price and the invoice price, so price difference captured, and that price difference automatically captured in FI as well as in the COPA 2. Then finally in end we process the payment or vendor payment done through F-53. So where vendor cleared and bank here payment done, so bank here credited. So GRIR reconciliation ensure that the financial accuracy at the month end. Okay, so that you can process through the transaction code F.13. Means right now if you'll see that your GRR account having some open items, it will have zero balance, but it will show the open balance. Particularly we will check this account, 4002 account. Zero balance, but you can see your line items are there. So anytime when you will run the open item report related to GL, these open line items will be there. So we have to clear that one. And again, it is part of your R2R team. So R2R team is going to do all type of reconciliations. So we can use the transaction code F.13 to automatically clear any GRIR open items, which is perfectly match between the invoice and GR. So 6,000 when we have processed GR, a credit entry, then 6,000 debit entry, then 4,000 second one, 4,000 credit entry, 4,000 debit entry. Now I can process the clearing one. So that is F.13. I will select the company code. Okay, and select the GL account. I'm not going to select any GL account. Let's check all the GL accounts. So execute. Of course, in the test run right now, I'm executing. Okay, so here some other accounts are there. Just ignore. We will check the GL account. Okay, so otherwise you will get confused here. Let me specify the GL account. That is 4002. But because F.13 is not related to GRR, it is other GL also considering. So I'm taking here 4002 account only and execute. Okay, so here all transactions, make sure that zero, it should be zero. Okay, so today's transaction, it's zero, and I can go ahead with the actual run. So I will remove the test run and execute. Okay, so it's done. Now let's see the GRR account. Refresh. Done. Okay, so entire process completed. So when you are preparing for your interviews, make sure that you should understand the process. You should understand what is the business process here, because without knowing the business process will try to do in the system, you'll get confused and you will not get that clarity. So whatever role, whether it is consulting or the user role, so first understand the business process, then find out business point of view, what are the problems that there might be facing, and accordingly you need to configure or you need to prepare your activities, so that a complete end-to-end scenario you can see, you can experience it, and once you will experience it, it will easily in interview you can deliver it. So I hope you like this concept. Any query, anything, feel free to add in the comments, or you can drop a mail to me. I will reply. Thank you.